I'm nutritionist Shawn Stevenson.
And I'm Trisha.
And we're here to bring you Health Unprocessed.
In today's show, we are going to talk about water. I always knew I was supposed to drink water. 8 glasses a day, it's what I've always heard, but I drank maybe one, if that. But for whatever reason, when I read your book and I actually saw the science behind how water fuels my body, I started waking up and drinking water before I did anything, before I even got out of bed. Can you go into some detail as far as why water is so important to us?
Water is literally the basis of you being alive. Up to 80% of your body is made of water. So when those hydration levels start to go down, a lot of bad things can start happening. Water is used to transport all the nutrients and oxygen throughout all the cells of your body. So without that proper hydration level, your wide highways of your bloodstream start to become narrow little alleyways, and the nutrition is not really getting to your cells. And what that's going to lead to is a dis-ease, a lack of ease or health in the body. Another big thing that water is responsible for is literally maintaining your DNA and RNA. So we're talking about printing out good copies of yourself. With the proper hydration, your RNA, your DNA, your genes can create a better you.
Okay, I'm drinking this water and all of a sudden I start to read, oh, well, you're not drinking the right water. So can you elaborate in more detail what type of water?
A lot of times when people think about water, they think of something called H2O. Now, water is not just H2O. It's H2O with other things dissolved into it. Water is known as the universal solvent. So pretty much anything that water comes in contact with, it starts to integrate with and become that substance. So because your body's mostly made of water, the type of water, the quality of water that you drink is of the utmost importance. So the first thing to consider here is what is in my water source. Now there's different rungs here. There's different levels of having the best water possible. The first level that people are aware of is just drinking their municipal tap water. It goes through a water treatment facility because this water is coming from everywhere around your particular area, your city, your town. That water is all pooled there. Yeah, so literally the bathroom, when you use the bathroom, that water is going to eventually become part of your water supply. The largest particulate matter that's found in municipal tap water is tampon paper and toilet paper. All right, it's kind of gross. Now, I like to tell people that if you don't have a water filter, you are the water filter. So you start to become that breeding ground or holding tank for all the crap in the water that you want to get out. So getting a water filter is obviously important. We can start with the little Britas and the things that say removes the taste and smell of chlorine, but it doesn't actually remove chlorine. Chlorine is literally, it's an antibiotic. All right, so it's something that destroys pathogens, good and bad. So it destroys everything. It doesn't take a number. It doesn't care what jersey you're wearing. So those things are one step. Then we step into the more efficient and effective methods of cleaning our tap water, which would be something like an RO system, which is reverse osmosis. So it removes things like chlorine. Those particles are bigger than the water. It removes things like fluoride, which is another big concern of our municipal water supply. So fluoride is known to really affect the pineal gland in your brain. And your pineal gland is responsible for your willpower, your ability to make strong decisions. And it was put into our water supply without us giving permission. You know,
and I always wonder how that happened.
Yeah, it's just...
So it's the reason that I don't feel like working out. It's destroying my willpower.
I'm not going to blame it on that, but it could be a part of it. It was initially put into the water supply as a method of improving our bone health and our teeth health.
And let's face it, did the government a long time ago decide that they're really concerned about Americans' teeth?
Yeah.
Like, I highly doubt
it's very interesting
that everybody got together and was like, well, let's make sure that we have the best teeth in America and let's add fluoride to the
we're
water.
not going to open an X-Files or a conspiracy theory on it, but it's very interesting. And it's just it's having the right to know versus you being medicated without your consent. So getting that fluoride out because you don't want to be an experiment would be a wise choice, and RO systems are effective at doing that.
So when you're talking about the reverse osmosis system, our RO system, you're talking about applying that process to the tap water.
Now, the issue that you're going to run into with the RO water is that the water is essentially, it's a blank slate. Because again, it's not just H2O that you want. You want H2O with the right stuff dissolved into it. When you consume that water that doesn't have the microminerals in there and the minerals, it's going to leach and bond to things in your body because, again, water is a solvent. So we need to restructure that water. We need to give it some life. Really simple stuff to do. So you take your RO treated water and you add a little bit of sea salt to it, or you add some lemon. You can add a little bit of something called MSM, which is methyl sulfonomethane. It's a big word, but what it is a sulfur compound, and it gives the water more structure as well. There's so many cool things you could do with the water, but the easiest one is putting a little bit of sea salt in your water. All right, so we've got the tap water, we've got the Brita water, we've got the RO water. Now we're looking at well water. So many people have had wells on their property in our country for a long time. Getting water from wells, they're going down deep into aquifers and getting that water that's never seen pollution before. It's never seen any of this drama that's in our world today, all the stuff that the water is exposed to. That is the cleanest, purest stuff on the planet. The issue is that you're drilling down to get that water before it comes out in a spring. And it's gonna have a tendency to have more of the denser water particles. So there's gonna be more minerals in the water, which could be good in some cases. Some cases it might be an issue. Now, ideal source, spring water, right from the source, right from somewhere near you. You should be making your body out of things in your local area. It helps you to adapt to your local area versus getting water from Fiji, right? So with spring water, you're getting something that has not been tampered with. You're getting something that is, again, the cleanest, purest thing on the planet. But we've really become disconnected from that, where we are seeing that water's, it's coming from a bottle, and again, the bottle is a big issue. And you just mentioned a part of that earlier when we talked about BPA. So our fancy Fiji water that we're paying this absurd amount of money for, it's contained in a bottle that has bisphenol A, which is BPA. And what's been found is that bisphenol A is a xenoestrogen compound. So it has the ability to function and attach to receptor sites in your body for estrogen. And that sounds a little weird, but essentially what it means is that you can become estrogen dominant as a woman. And this will lead to things like
being a bitch.
Possibly, or things like breast cancer, fibroid tumors, things of that nature. But definitely estrogen dominance is gonna make you a little bit unpleasant to be around maybe. And then for men, this can lead to a decrease in your secondary sex characteristics. So lighter voice, less facial hair, inability to reproduce. It can get pretty serious, And BPA isn't the big culprit here, but it's that bioaccumulation, all the stuff we're exposed to now. And with our water, we can make a real, firm, smart decision on the water that we're putting into our bodies.